UFC Fight Night is in the books, and hey, Sacramento delivered. It was a great card, great night of fights, and some action back and forth in that main event with Hernandez and RoboCop. Obviously, I mean, I was hoping for Fluffy. I've had Fluffy on the for the pod a couple times. He's a great dude, fun to be around. He's extremely small for the weight, as we can kind of see tonight. But man, I feel like all he had to do was pull the trigger. If he would have stepped away from wrestling and started pulling the trigger a little bit more, especially as the fight went on. His hand speed was there. I don't think he just realized it, man. So, hey guys, if you guys are joining us, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on a Saturday night for a fight card out of Sacramento, but UFC fight card. I know that there is a PFL on tonight as well. I will talk about that probably tomorrow morning with Angelo. We'll include that. I got to watch that card. I wasn't able to watch it. I had the Chiefs playing tonight. The UFC was on tonight. PFL was going tonight. It started off as Chris Cyborg's supposed to be a retirement fight. I don't think she's retiring now with the MVP, takeover of the PFL. So I don't think she's retiring. I don't know if it's still considered her retirement fight, but we'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to check out that card probably after I get done filming this, and then we'll give a little bit of that tomorrow. But Big Ange and I will be filming tomorrow a full recap of this card. And we'll talk a little bit. Probably I'll talk about the PFL because he doesn't watch PFL. And we'll see how that goes. And then we'll talk. I don't know if you guys saw, man. But Harrison Butker kicks a 69-yard field goal in the Chiefs game. They still lose. But, that's wild. A 69-yard field goal. 69. I remember when 62, 63, and 64 were the longest. And those had all happened probably in the last, 7 to 10 years or something like that. But I remember seeing those kicks, field goals being made, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's the longest kick ever. 69 yards is fucking madness. It's madness. Look, let's talk about the main event, man. You had Fluffy Hernandez, who's a great guy, great fighter. I'm really encouraged by like watching. I get kind of like watching him fight. I get a little, hey man, you are just too small for this weight class, but I can see that cutting the weight down to 170 would kill you. So he's that tweener. He's kind of like a Kelvin Gastelum, kind of that 185 / 70 pounder. It sucks. It's a big jump, 15 pounds. But look, you saw the physical size difference between the two of them, between RoboCop and Fluffy, and the power obviously went to Gregory Rodriguez, but I felt like the hand speed and the ability to let the combinations go should have went Anthony Hernandez's favor. But as those leg kicks started landing early in the fight, you could tell he was really struggling with the first 2 leg kicks, 3 leg kicks. And then by the second round, he got dropped 3 times by leg kicks in that second round. And that I was really concerned. The scorecards didn't reflect it, but I'm going to actually reach out to Big John's son, who was a judge on one of those, Ron McCarthy. I'll reach out to him tomorrow and find out how he scored that second round. Getting dropped 3 times by leg kicks, is that a 10-8 round? Because I don't think anybody got a 10-8 round in that fight, and it seemed like it would have potentially been a 10-8 round. Now, Fluffy did come back and finish the round pretty impressively, man. Flurry of combinations. Looked like he had Gregory hurt a little bit right before the bell went, but man, I thought it was a good fight. It wasn't shaping up to be a good fight. I felt like RoboCop was going to dominate after that second round. I was like, oh, look, he goes back to the calf. But then Fluffy switched stances. And what you have to remember is you've been preparing for someone who's kind of a little bit conventional, kind of not. Fluffy's a little unorthodox, but he's not known for fighting left-handed, for not fighting, for fighting southpaw. And Gregory, you could tell, was having a little bit of a problem with a southpaw stance because in his mind, he's like, oh, well, I got to make this adjustment. And it wasn't there anymore. And so he struggled a little bit in that third round with how Anthony Hernandez was fighting him in that third round by switch stance. He was fighting him southpaw, and the straight lefts were landing, and the little pop shot jabs were landing. Fluffy, I think, made this fight harder than it needed to be by wrestling too much. You can't just keep going to the wrestling. He should have let the hands go a little bit more. Now, obviously, I was not in there, and I have been on the receiving end in training with guys that are bigger, physically just able to make you flinch every time because you're like, oh, you got to impact. You got to like brace for that impact of the punch because they're so heavy and they're so strong. And that's kind of the feeling that I got from Fluffy when he was taking the shots from RoboCop. Like, oh man, this hurts. Every time it hits my arm, hits my body, I've got to make sure I brace for it so I can respect the impact. But man, and someone here, cap and glasses, you're absolutely correct, man. Robocop's a unit. If he can get that cardio going, I mean, the hardest part I think was somebody like him. We've seen this before in the past. If you carry that much muscle, it's so hard to just keep feeding the oxygen to that amount of muscle. He's physically, just like you said, a unit. He's built like a specimen, right? So for a 5-round fight, he's going to struggle against the top guys. And look, and Hernandez is the top guys, ranked number 6, and Rodriguez was ranked number 11 at the time. Today, obviously, there'll be some pole switching here coming up. That didn't sound right. Pole switching. There'll be some changes in the rankings. That did not come out right. There'll be some changes in the rankings this weekend and this Monday when they get released. We'll find out where he ends up, where Gregory Rodriguez ends up, and we'll find out where Anthony Hernandez ends up. But I don't know. I just felt like Hernandez had opportunities to let the hands go. And because he had the faster hands and he was in the way he does fight sometimes. And his corner was even telling him in the 5th round, you need to come out, throw the straight left, and then step with it and follow up with the right. He didn't do that. He came out and shot right away. And when your corner's telling you that, there's something going on and you're not listening to them, it means that you're either tired or the moment that you started thinking, man, Gregory Rodriguez he hits hard. I have to respect everything he does. I don't want to get knocked out. Even though I'm losing, like it goes through a fighter's mind. Do I just take the L or do I try and go out on my shield and try and get him out of there and potentially get knocked out myself? It goes through a fighter's mind because you knew, like I think everybody knew that Anthony Hernandez needed to win the 5th round and he needed to either win the 5th round or he needed to actually get the finish. From the judges' scorecards, it didn't seem like he needed to get the finish. It seemed like he just needed to win that round. I didn't find the fight to be that close. I think it really comes down to how you scored that first round. Maybe Hernandez won the first, and then Hernandez, and then obviously RoboCop won the second. Hernandez won the third, so that puts it at 3-2. But I don't know. Overall, I thought it was a pretty damn good fight, like everyone's talking about here in the chat. Man, RoboCop's a unit. He is a unit, man, and I was trying to figure out how they were going to score that second round. Was it a 10-8 round? If you guys thought it was a 10-8 round, let me know in the comments. That second round, he dropped him 3 times with leg kicks, and he didn't finish the round strong. So maybe that's what got him back to a 10-9 round. But I've got a lot of questions for the judges. I'll reach out to Ron McCarthy tomorrow and see how he scored it. It seems like everybody on that panel scored it as a 10-9 round. So I'm wondering if that last little flurry at the end brought Anthony Hernandez back to a 10-9 round. Makes me wonder. Fluffy needs Sam Calavita and move to 70. I think he just needs to move to 70. But I wouldn't even say that he needs to move to 70. He just needs to believe in himself, I think, a little bit more. He had a lot of belief in himself up until the Sean Strickland fight. And then I think he's realized these guys are big. So then you've got to use what you have to your advantage. And your advantage is your hand speed, your ability to take a shot, and your ability to like switch stance and still box and move forward. He didn't do that. There's a lot of wrestling going on. And once you realize you've got to time that, if it's not there, make a little space or fight him in a phone booth. But I don't know, man. 4-1 RoboCop in round 2 was a clear 10-8. We say that. Mom, what does that say? Mom fed me Drano 717. With scorecards like that, I can see she did feed you Drano. 4-1. None of the judges had it that way. They all had it 48-47 is what it sounded like. So, yeah, it was very strange. Very strange. I was wondering if that was a 10-8 round. Do you think he needs to change his diet? He's been fluffy forever. No. Look, I'm not big into the whole like genetics and like you're born fat and all this stuff. But I am half Mexican, and I can honestly tell you, Hispanics have a tendency to kind of just carry a little bit of that softness around the midsection. Doesn't matter how they eat. Look, in some of his photos, you can see some abs, especially on the scale. But after he gets fueled back up, it just happens. I got to be honest, guys. I'm looking a little fluffy myself these days. So I actually have to get I'm going to actually go out to the garage right after this and get a little workout in too. The last 3 weeks, I've been getting my workouts in every morning. And today I didn't get it in. So I got to get one in tonight before I head to bed. So it's not easy. It's not easy. Josh, how was your hand speed back in your days? My hand speed was pretty damn good. What I had a hard time with, and Javier will tell you this, Javier Mendez, I have probably one of the worst left hooks ever by a Hispanic fighter. I know my last name is Thompson, but my mom's last name is Vasquez, so I'm a true Hispanic. So I'm half and half. Yeah, and you would think, right? Most Hispanics, most Mexican boxers have a fucking dynamite left hook. Not this guy. Not this guy. It was the white side. That was the white side. So I don't know what it was, but I do carry a little extra around the sides. So Anthony can't finish a fight. Went to decision. Doesn't look dominant. Should move down to featherweight. Joe Rogan. Look, he should move down to not featherweight. What are you talking about? Featherweight? Who the hell? There's no way he's making featherweight. Welterweight, you mean? He should probably think about moving to 170, but it's up to him. It really is up to him. If he feels good, doesn't want to cut the weight. I mean, you have to ask yourself, I cut my weight, cut the weight, get down to 170, potentially try and make a run for a title there. Who knows? I mean, there's some dogs in that weight class right now, right? I mean, like, they're all strikers. If you can get them down, not sure if you can get them down. How much will you be depleted? He doesn't physically look like a strong fighter. I know that's hard to say tonight because he was battling against fucking a unit, like someone was saying earlier, man. Like dealing with somebody like Gregory Rodriguez, just damn. So Josh Thomson versus Dean Thomas in a boxing match. Fun fight. Hell no, it ain't fun. We're both old as a freak. Man, we're too old for that stuff. So Fluffy is kind of a in-betweener, 100%. If you were here for the first 2 minutes of the pod, when we started this thing, I said the same exact thing. He's a tweener. He's like a Kelvin Gastelum. He is somebody that he just the weight cut is too much to get him to 70, and putting the weight on makes him too small for the weight class. He'll have success. He just won't be able to get to the championship level. He's going to struggle against the guys that are bigger, like RoboCop, like Sean Strickland. He's going to struggle against those guys. I don't know, man. Like there's some good fights for him still in this weight class. Let's take a quick look because he's at 185. I think honestly for fun, I would like to see him and Israel Adesanya. Maybe have him fight a Ikram Aliskrov. Maybe let's just throw this out here. Bo Nickel. Bo's not huge for the weight, decent size, filling out pretty nicely now. He's getting a little bit older. Great wrestling, obviously. He's got some power in his hands. I mean, good step up for Bo. And if he loses, if Anthony Hernandez loses that fight, I think then he starts considering moving down to 170. That's the best I can come up with. Because now I have the potential to build him up against somebody that is on their way up and that we want to try to build, who's going to definitely stop all of his takedowns. And on the feet, I don't think you really have to worry about Fluffy like knocking you out. He will put the pressure on you. He will land combinations, but I don't know, man. Let's get to the super chat we got here. Let's see what we got. Mom fed me Drano 717. I asked this respectfully, but if Fluffy is fragile? No, he's not fragile. He's just dealing with the freaking unit tonight. Like you were saying, body shots are clear path. And in this fight, he was different after about 2 leg kicks. Once again, dealing with Gregory Rodriguez and his power, you can just tell. I mean, it's nasty. It's absolutely nasty. I mean, like he's got power in his hands, got power in his leg kicks. He's one of those. I was just having this conversation with some guys that I train jiu-jitsu with in the morning. There's certain guys that I don't really like training with them because it hurts. Everything you do with them, it hurts. They're so tense. Their flexibility is not there. You almost feel like you don't want anytime they move that they may fall on you or hurt you. And they are bigger, but not much bigger. Just they're so muscular. So their bone density feels so strong, like so thick. It just hurts every time you touch them. And so I don't like training with them, but they're also the ones that push you to become better, because if you get stuck in a position underneath them, man, they will rip your head off. They will chase submissions and like break your grip. They're just so physically strong. Like most of you guys, if some of you guys train jiu-jitsu, it's normally like the guys who are tree toppers, guys that hang drywall all day, or guys that, do construction or roofing. It's those guys. Those guys, it just like they just grew up doing like forest work and construction jobs. Like I did that early in my life, but when I hit a certain like level in fight, I was like, man, I'm never going back to that shit. Right. But those guys have this like, I don't want to say retard strength, but yeah, like almost like retard strength. It hurts every time you touch them. Everything about them, it physically hurts you. So someone just typed here, said Bo just lost in Roth. Wow, I didn't expect that. But he's also, I would imagine he's wrestling a really high level wrestler who's been currently wrestling at a high level. So yeah, I know the Chiefs are 0-2 in preseason. But bro, that's like Allen Iverson's talking about, man. We're talking about practice. That's really what this is, practice. Mahomes is out there for one segment, I think, or no, I don't think he went out. So you had Mahomes, you have Nussmeier, and you have Fields. They're good, bro. They're good. We'll be fine. We will be fine. Yeah, somebody here, John Killa. I agree, man. RoboCop fought a great game plan. I would have liked to have seen him put the pressure earlier. If I'm his corner, I mean, he had success in the 4th and the 5th by not being pushed back. They yelled at him after the 3rd round, and they said, hey, keep your back off of the fence. Why are you putting your back to the fence? That's where he wants to be. And he fixed it right there. That's a fighter that listens to his coaches. So, great stuff, man. Great stuff. Overall, we're going to see what happens with Fluffy. UFC may tell him, or not force him, but be like, hey, we recommend you probably think about going down in weight. We'll give you maybe one more fight. I could see maybe a Bo Nickel fight there, because if you lose to Bo Nickel, he's on the way up, you're on the way down. Probably an idea maybe for you. And it's no disrespect to Bo Nickel, but Bo Nickel doesn't have a lot of fights, and we're trying to build Bo. And if Bo beats you, then hey, it's something we can work with. But yeah, I thought overall though, I love the energy from the crowd for Fluffy. I love that he's getting that, so I love that. RoboCop though. Let's talk about RoboCop real quick. Let's play some matchmaking. You guys want to do some matchmaking with me? Let's go matchmaking, man. We've got RoboCop right now at 185 pounds. He'll jump up to probably somewhere in that number 7, number 6, number 8 range. He's at number 11 right now, number 10, number 11 right now. Put him maybe in that Kaiba Hollow area, right? He's going to take number 7. He should go ahead of Michael Venom Page. I think he'll probably leapfrog Michael Venom Page. They're not doing anything with Michael Venom Page. He's 39 years old, 40 years old. They're not going to do anything with him. So he's just hanging out in that space right now. Maybe you see a matchup between Michael Venom Page and Israel Adesanya. Maybe. Just throwing that out there. I'm not sure. Or you see, Hernandez drop, and maybe you see Gregory Rodriguez take a step up and fight someone like a Joe Pyfer, a Brendan Allen, or a Kaiba Hollow, or somewhere in that mix. You never know. But somewhere in that mix, you could probably potentially see him. Let's talk about the co-main event, man. Let me give you my Let me give you my gist on this co-main event. Vitor Petrino versus Sergey Spivak. There you go. That wraps it up for that. That was look, Petrino is somebody that has the look. I think he is somebody that is very marketable, but he's gonna have to fix his fighting style. You can't sit on the lead going into the 3rd round, knowing you have both. I get it. Move, stick, move, throw some shots, but still go out there and try to win the fight. One of the things that's gonna kill your chances of ever getting a run at the title is shit like that. Dana White fucking hates that shit. How many times I've been in like back locker rooms, he's come in and he's been like, hey, if you get the opportunity, you need to finish this fight. He's talked to the fighter like, you need to go out there. When they used to do, I don't know if they still do it, they used to do meetings like after weigh-ins, and then they would bring us all in and be like, hey, you've been waiting for this opportunity. This is your shot in a lifetime. You win this fight, you're one fight away from a title. He talks like that. And he'll talk to you about whatever the bonuses were. He'll say all these things. But he gets on you like, if you have someone hurt, you need to finish him. And there was that moment in the end of the 2nd round where Fluffy had Gregory Rodriguez hurt after being dropped 3 times with leg kicks, and then he shoots a double leg. That's not going to win you the fight, dude. That you definitely didn't win the round because you got dropped 3 times with leg kicks. Those are the things that really, I think, are frustrating to like a Dana White. and the UFC brass. So those are things when you're watching like that portion of it. But the rest of the fight was great with Fluffy and RoboCop. But Petrino needs to make those type of adjustments. He needs to understand that you can't fight like that. You've got to make some changes where you come out and you try to finish these guys. He had Spivak hurt a bunch of times. He not so much really hurt, but he was really kind of bullying him around. And Spivak had moments, but wasn't able to stop the power and the aggressive and not aggressive, but the power of Petrino. He looked like he was more afraid of the power of Petrino, which is not a good sign either. So overall, to me, the fight wasn't great. Obviously, Petrino was the more athletic, the more powerful puncher. All those things that made Spivak kind of respect him a little bit too much, and that's the type of fight that we got. So, and then Petrino just sat on the lead after he won 2 rounds. He just sat on the lead. Now I understand because Petrino goes from not being ranked to now being ranked somewhere in the number 6, number 7, number 8 position because he has a win over number 6 Spivak. That lets you know the status of the heavyweight division. That a guy coming from outside the rankings could beat number 6 in dominant fashion. The heavyweight division and the 205-pound division it's a disaster. Absolute disaster for this sport. Sad because these 2 weight classes historically were like, heavyweight was always kind of weak, even in historically, but during that phase where they absorbed Strikeforce had all the better heavyweights and they all came over except for Fedor. And so then you had that, and then you had and then you had the 205-pound division, which historically has always been great, from Frank Shamrock being the first light heavyweight champ, Tito Ortiz, and then it moved on to Randy, Chuck, and all the guys. They held the promotion down. But right now, in this state of what the sport is in, it's trash. The light heavyweight division is trash. There's the top 3 guys, top 4 guys, and then the rest of the division, like an unranked guy could come in and probably take over. And I don't say that to be an asshole. I say it basically to say, like, it's true. There's just not enough really good talent out there. And I was talking about, promotions like PFL, promotions like Coker's new one coming up. They've got to make sure that they are not carrying weight classes where there's not enough talent. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm Scott Coker and I'm starting a new promotion, I'm not starting a new promotion with the heavyweight division. I'm not starting a new promotion with 205s. There's not enough of them out there. The UFC doesn't even have enough of them. The PFL doesn't have enough of them. So why would I start a promotion with fighters that there's not enough of them out there? So I'm going to pay fighters a lot of money to come and fight on my promotion, but there's only like 3 or 4 of them. It doesn't make any sense. I would feature the one, from 125 to 175, 170. That's it. I don't even know if I would carry 185. Possibly there might be some guys out there at 185 pounds, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. By the way, Scott Coker's announcing a lot of details to his event in New York City on September 14th. So more details on his new promotion, the name, I think potentially, weight classes they'll be featuring, fighters, a couple fighters that they've maybe signed already. Who knows? More information coming. I'm excited for that. September 14th in New York. That'll be probably available across some sort of network, either YouTube or something like that. All right, well, look, Petrino and Spivak, like I said, Petrino moves up. He'll get ranked somewhere in that top 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that position. Spivak's going to drop, obviously. But both of my interviews with Reinier de Ridder and Roman Dolidze were dropped this week. If you didn't see them, go check them out. Hear what they had to say. But man, what a game plan Roman had against RDR. Let me just lay on my back. Let me just try and get a leg lock into position from there. Why? The way to beat him is on the feet. The way to beat him is to use, bro, you are a physically strong human being. People talk about when they train with you how strong you are. And RDR doesn't have, his stand-up is sufficient. He's got the long kick, the long push kick, the long kicks. He's got the long jab. He's got those things. Makes you fight a very uncomfortable fight, puts a lot of pressure. But man, Roman Dolidze needed to get out there, get right into his face and fight like that type of fight. I don't know. I felt like he should have slipped his head offline, throw some big shots, try to catch him on the chin. I don't know. going to the ground with him was not an ideal situation. You put yourself in that position too. So RDR, what can you say? Like, I've always said this. Those of you guys have been following the podcast for a long period of time. His body style, RDR, John Jones, Alex Gustafson, Anderson Silva, guys that are tall, long, and lanky are so hard to deal with. Sean O'Malley, it's just not easy to train. It's not easy to train for those guys. It's not easy to fight them. They move so well. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to deal with the reach and the range. It's hard to deal with all that stuff. So I don't know. RDR is a dog. I think at 205, this is where he belongs. 6'3", 6'4", somewhere in that mix. He's got a lot, he's got long reach, long limbs. I thought in the beginning with Roman Dolidze chasing the leg locks, I'm like, maybe there's something there. But you have to remember, if you're going to chase leg locks, the taller guy, especially as long as him, the taller guy can just stand over you and still punch you in the face. They're not easily knocked off balance because they're long limbs, so they have a better base. And I didn't understand the continuing of, he just continued to keep chasing the legs and it wasn't there. And then eventually, he got mounted, got his back taken, just beat. So RDR, I think the potential for him at 205 is amazing. I think there's an opportunity that he may even be able to become champion. It's funny how a lot of these guys, and I talked about this with RDR and with Roman, I'm like, these guys are all fleeing the 185-pound division, which historically has been the weakest division in the sport. But now they're fleeing to an even weaker division, which historically has been one of the toughest divisions in the sport at 205. They're leaving there. And the ones that at 205 are now leaving to the heavyweight division because they're faster and they have a little bit better cardio and they think that they can beat the heavyweights easier to get a chance to fight for the title there. But you can't tell me that Josh Hokage shouldn't be fighting at 205, but he just knows that he's the faster fighter, the more athletic fighter, the better conditioned fighter, and can fucking wrestle. At heavyweight, that's a better place for him. So, look, these guys are leaving from 205 to go into heavyweight. They're going to probably have some more success there. But the guys leaving from 85, like Robert Whittaker and Roman Dolidze and RDR, they're going to probably have more success at 205 than they were having at 185. So, I'd like that they're sprucing things up. The UFC before, I keep using this word historically, has kind of declined from fighters leaving from one weight class to the next. They're like, no, you got to fight here or we're going to just let you go. But they're letting the fighters jump from weight class to weight class. And I kind of like that because I think they're realizing that a fighter that is cutting too much weight will probably have better performances for them, selfishly, because they're not killing themselves to make the weight. So, oh wait, how do I keep getting on this card? I don't know why it keeps changing. And then you've got Medeiros versus Jones. Man, I felt so bad for Jones. Felt so bad for him. And it was the elbows right from the jump. The elbows caught him and he just never recovered. Just kept getting caught. What happens was he would slip his head offline. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to this. He would slip his head offline and the elbow, instead of him throwing the right hand or him throwing the jab, he would just step in and land the elbow. So the elbow would go, instead of the jab slipping by, his head slipping by on this side, he would do this. So he had no choice but to run into his elbow. I thought it was freaking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I thought he fought. I thought Medeiros, I thought Mason, won the first round. And it was close though, but I had Mason winning. I think Mason won in the first round. And then Medeiros came out with just a better, tighter striking. And I thought Mason was going to make it more of a dog fight, which he did in the first, was trying to do it the same thing in the second. And once he got blasted with the one elbow, then he got blasted with the second one. And it was like, it was so out of it that the shots just kept coming and never got a chance to recover. I really enjoy watching Mason Jones fight. So I hope they keep him. I sadly want to see him get some wins because he is a fun fighter to watch. Fun. And I love watching it. Sad though. I don't want to see him go. I want to see him stay in the UFC, but I want to see him get some wins though too, because it's just fun to watch. You're going to get a great fight out of him every single time. Carly, I don't know how you say her last name, Judici. She looked absolutely fantastic. And you can actually tell against Chavez that one of the first push kicks she threw actually had Chavez like kind of not hunched, but kind of circled and stayed away, and you kept her elbow down. And I don't think that Judici Carl, I'm just gonna call her Carly. I don't think Carly realized that she was already kind of hurt to the body. And then she landed another one. And then you could see that she kind of winced and dropped the elbow even more. And then the last one was the one that put her away. But those push kicks were money. I was expecting Chavez to have a more like aggressive attack and not try to fight her on the outside that way. When you have someone who has a really good push kick and is a little bit longer than you, it surprised me that Chavez was, and her corners were like, yeah, stay on the outside and just try to land the big shot. No. Get inside, okay, and don't stay on the outside. You're either all the way in trying to box her, or you're all the way out so you can't get kicked. Or get to wrestling, girl, which I don't think she had the wrestling to take her down. So Anthony Wint, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but man, that guy's got muscles. That guy's got some muscles. I thought he got stung by a bee. Jeez, swole up like that. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And he made it look easy. Chapman, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether they're going to keep him or not. And they may give him another opportunity, but you could tell Wint is very inexperienced on the ground, very inexperienced on the feet, but he's got power. He's got athleticism. He's NFL, like you said, NFL athlete. I mean, that type of experience, he doesn't have enough experience yet. And you could tell the way he jumped over to side control on the far side to attack the side choke. And you could tell that Chapman had no defense for it because he didn't know what to expect. So both of them very green on the main card. But I think because they see something in Wint that could be marketable, 100%. 100%, you allow this thing to go. You keep matching them up properly, and there's something there. You have somebody that you can actually market and start to grow a little bit, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. Heavyweight though, he's 231, I think is what they said. 231. That's a small heavyweight. That's small. That's smaller than Hokit. So that's a small heavyweight. So he's got to make some changes. Hey, Emmers, man. Whew. Emmers look good, clean. I thought Douglas was going to have a little bit more power, more aggressiveness, but man, he got hit, boink, and it was done. It was done. Emmers looked good, looked fluid. The aggressiveness of Douglas in the beginning kind of concerned me a little bit, but nah. Emmers looked good, clean on the feet, nicely done. Wint got a great personality too. Great addition to the heavyweight. I'm going to talk about a young kid that fought earlier on the night, and I thought he had a great personality as well. And we'll talk about him later. Gadziev got it done. Punches, done. Boom, dropped him. Ref stepped in. No need to follow up. Not much to talk about on that fight. It was a minute 20. Padilla and Hakfaras. Another fight where I expected it to be. I talked about this fight on other podcasts throughout the week. I was excited for this fight. And I was asleep until 4:52 of the third round. A lot of tit for tat, a lot of touch, tit for tat, that type of thing. I expected it to be a lot better fight. Both these guys are way more capable of delivering a way better fight for us. Oh, here we go. Pot Cake 365, Cyborg won tonight as well. Called out Kayla. That fight will never happen, guys. It'll never happen. I don't know why she keeps calling out people that she'll never get matched up with. The UFC does not like Cyborg. She's too old. She can't make 135. Kayla Harrison had to make 135. Chris Cyborg can't make 135. No, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Kayla Harrison will never leave the UFC. She'll retire in the UFC and she will ride off into the sunset, especially if she beats Amanda Nunes. She will not fight Chris Cyborg. And not that I'm not saying that she's ducking her. I'm not saying that she doesn't want to fight her. I'm just simply saying she's going to stay in the UFC and Cyborg will not go back to the UFC. Too much damage has been done. She's also older and she can't make the weight. So I don't know why she keeps calling for that fight. She'd have a better chance, even though she's been avoiding her like the plague, is fighting Clarissa Shields in boxing. Clarissa Shields decided to fight somebody that was a little bit of a tougher fight for $1.5 million less instead of fighting Chris Cyborg. She does not want to fight Chris Cyborg. That is somebody who is legit ducking Chris Cyborg, is Clarissa Shields. And she runs around calling herself the GWOAT. If you're the GWOAT, if you're something like, why not fight her? There's not a lot of women for you to fight. Fight Chris Cyborg. She's been asking for the fight. They've thrown money at you. Doesn't make any sense. I think Cyborg beats her too. I think it'd be a tough fight. Very tough fight. But it'll be fun. Very fun fight, though. Chris is good. I'm not saying she's not good. She's a good fighter. But Chris gives her some problems. Yep. I expected a little bit more out of Chris Padilla, but man, pulls it off. I love that he chased the submission at the end. That's what you're looking for. And he chased it all the way till 4:59 of the third round and gets the finish. He just laid Hasperat down and they were giving him the shake and he woke him up. Yep. You have Barboza and Kuz. Great shot. Great, done. TKO punches. The fight that I'm most excited about for this, though, was Young versus Dorsonville or whatever, the new kid. What a fight. What a fight, man. This kid came. He delivered. I thought it was a fantastic, fantastic fight. Absolutely a great fight. I can't wait to see him fight again. He got the win. I thought it was a very close fight. I could have seen if Young won, and I could have seen how Stanley Dorsonville or whatever won. I could have seen how either one of them would have won that fight. And I wouldn't have been mad if either one of them would have won that fight. I wouldn't have been mad. I thought it was a great fight. It was fun, entertaining. They both had moments in the fight. Damn, it was good. It was a very, very good fight. Both of them, I hope they get the performance of the night bonus. To me, that was the best fight on the card. Over the main event, over the DeRitter, delete, like over all the other fights. I mean, Medeiros and Jones deserves honorable mention, but because I got 3 rounds of back and forth between Young and Dorsonville, I would have probably said they had fight of the night. Young lives 30 minutes from me in Sedamo. There we go. Cyborg can't land on shields. You might be right. Strong Chiba, you might be right. She may not be able to land on shields. But if she does, she's got the power to put her to sleep. Especially with 8-ounce gloves. I don't know if Clarissa Shields can make that weight. Like, would they fight at 145? Would they fight at 160 something, 170? Because Clarissa Shields is not a small girl. She is not. She's put some weight on. So, and Cyborg, Cyborg defensively is not the most defensively sound fighter. But she got power, she got pressure, she got great cardio. She will fight her in a phone booth. She will make it like a kind of a grimy fight. She will get hit, but yeah. Did I see Buckley versus Woodley? I saw the highlights of it. Crazy that Woodley was down 8-1. I think he was down 8-1. Am I correct? Or 8-2. Comes back to win. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. So I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to take a look at the cards too. I heard that Henry Cejudo pinned. Did Henry Cejudo pin Merab? I want to remind people, when Merab had wrestled his first time in Roth, this is what I'm being told. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know otherwise, but I have been told that Merab had never wrestled a real legit competitive match until he wrestled Frankie Edgar at Roth. He had never got onto a wrestling like mat and wrestled like a competitive, like in front of people type thing. Now, I find that very hard to believe, but that's pretty impressive. Then he beats Frankie Edgar, who's a good friend of mine. Beats Frankie Edgar. I was there. That match happened in Arlington, Texas. And then he comes back and he wrestles Henry and beats Henry after going down, I think like 8-1 or 8-0. Henry got the quick takedown, turned him, I think is what it was. And then after that, Merab just put a pace on him. Henry got tired. Henry comes back, I guess, now and gets the win. So impressive for both on both parts. Hey, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you guys so much for joining. You guys are always amazing. Thanks for joining me on a Saturday night on a card that I know not a lot of you guys, you guys watched, but not a lot of people watch. Okay. But Josh, a name dropper. I'm not shaking my head. What are you talking about? Why are you jealous? Are you mad that you're not friends with them? Is that what it is? Don't be salty. Don't be salty. Cover big bet. Did you lose money tonight? Is that what happened? So you're taking it out on me? Cover big bet. Josh, a name dropper. Shaking my head. Man. Hey, by the way, guys, got a little special thing for you guys. We obviously did the interview with Darren Till. And I'm not gonna leave you guys with this, but I'm gonna show you guys this.
I don't think this is a fight with me and you all where you can talk shit. I think the fight speaks for itself. I've spoke a little bit of shit about UFC, as we all do, but I left on good terms with Dane and Hunter. Like they let me out my contract fairly easily because I told them, I just said, look guys, I said my body's not right. You know, you see another guy from the same city as me, Paddy. Look at the waves he's making. You know, he's got that energy. He's a good fighter. Clearly, you know, he looks different. You know, he brings more eyes to the sport. I don't think Nate Diaz should fight MMA no more. I think it's past that. I think he doesn't take it as serious. I think it's in it for the money. I don't think, obviously, what Jake Paul's doing, it's commendable, but I don't think the MVP PFL deal is going to ever match the UFC.
Are you crazy?
Crazy or scared? One or the other.
That interview is out now on the Weighing In podcast, on the Weighing In YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check out that interview. It's a great interview, man. He's fun to talk to. I'm going to have him on for a long form interview, though, here, probably after this fight. We talked about the Mike Perry situation where he may potentially try to fight Mike Perry after this, potentially going back to the UFC. There's a big potential there. And who knows? But I mean, look, this guy's paving the way, doing his thing. He looks phenomenal in terms of he's actually adjusted his body. He's working on some injuries. He's got to get his knee scoped, I think, after this fight. After this, then he'll go on and move on to whatever's next. But hey, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining the pod. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Saturday mornings used to mean coffee and sidelines. Now it's game time for all of us. We're running drills, chasing goals, and yeah, trying to keep up with each other. Soccer, lacrosse, doesn't matter. What matters is we're doing it together. But here's the thing I didn't expect. Training with your kids, it hits different. You sweat more, you push harder. If you're not careful, you could burn yourself out. That's why I started bringing LMNT. No sugar, no junk, just electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, so you can stay sharp, stay moving, and stay in the game. Because when your kids look over and say, come on, Dad, keep up, you don't want to sit this one out. You want to be right there with them. Hydration isn't just about performance. It's about showing up. For them, for yourself, for moments like this. LMNT.
Stay salty.